I'm going to spend the next few minutes walking through the FIRMAN W03381 portable inverter generator, and why it might or might not be the right backup for your home, campsite, or tailgate setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The idea here isn't to hype a piece of metal that looks good on a shelf, it's to help you decide if the little engine that promises quiet, clean power actually fits the real-world moments you care about, and to flag the hidden trade-offs before you spend a paycheck. First, let's talk about why buying a generator can feel like a gamble. You see a big headline dash, 3650W starting, 3300W running, and you picture all your appliances humming happily. Then you realize you might need a stable sine wave for sensitive electronics, you worry about fuel consumption on a weekend camping trip, and you're not sure if the unit will fit in the trunk of your SUV. Those are the exact concerns I ran into when I was researching a backup for my own home office and a portable unit for a couple of annual camping trips. I dug through the FIRMAN brand history, skimmed a handful of forum threads about inverter generators, and compared the W03381's layout with a few other models in the same price bracket. What I found were three practical dimensions that most spec sheets gloss over: how the control panel feels when you're juggling a grill and a mini fridge, how the fuel tank really lasts when you're running a small air compressor, and how quiet the unit stays once the load settles. If you're the type of person who runs a home office on a generator, you need a clean sine wave. The FIRMAN's inverter design promises exactly that, meaning laptops, routers, and even a small 3D printer won't see the kind of voltage spikes that can corrupt data. In my own testing, plugging a router and a couple of USB chargers together didn't produce any flicker when the engine settled at about 50% load. That's a concrete win for anyone who can't afford a sudden reboot during a video call. On the flip side, the generator's 3650W surge rating is respectable, but you have to remember that surge isn't a free lunch. If you try to start a large air conditioner and a power tool simultaneously, the engine will dip and the inverter may temporarily cut out before the surge capacity catches up. So the rule of thumb is to stagger those big start devices, something that many first-time owners overlook. Fuel efficiency is another real-world factor. The W03381 lists an efficient fuel runtime, but what does that mean when you're actually out on the road? The tank holds about 4 gallons, and the manufacturer claims roughly 10 hours at half load. In practice, when I ran it at 1500W to power a portable fridge, a camp stove, and a few lights, I got just under 9 hours before needing a refill. That's solid for a weekend camping scenario, but it also means you can't treat the unit as an all-day power source for a larger RV without planning a fuel stop. If you're looking for something to run a full house for a whole night, you'll either need a bigger tank or a secondary backup plan. Portability is where the FIRMAN tries to differentiate itself. The chassis is compact enough to slide into the back of a mid-size sedan, and the handle is molded for a comfortable grip. The weight sits around 100 pounds, which is lighter than many traditional open-frame generators, but it's still a chunk of metal that you'll need a couple of people to lift onto a roof rack or into a garage. In my own experience, moving the unit from a garage shelf to the driveway took a single person and a dolly, which is reasonable if you only need it a few times a year. For daily use, say, as a permanent backup, for a small workshop the weight may feel more like a permanent fixture than a truly portable tool. Now let's break down who should consider this generator, and who should walk away. The sweet spot is the homeowner, who wants a quiet, clean source of power for essential electronics during short outages, plus an occasional camper or tailgater who values low noise levels. FIRMAN advertises a quieter footprint than many conventional generators, and that holds up when you're trying to keep a campsite peaceful. The control panel is intuitive: a single knob for voltage regulation, a few LED indicators for oil level and overload, and a built-in circuit breaker that trips cleanly if you overload the unit. If you're comfortable reading a small digital display And don't mind a bit of manual startup. This model uses a recoil pull instead of an electric start. That's a minor inconvenience that keeps the price down. On the other side, if you need a generator that runs for an entire day on a single tank, or you rely on multiple hydro appliances at once, you might be better off with a larger, fuel-heavy model, or a dual-fuel option. Likewise, if you expect to use the unit for